Hey everybody, I'm Sayaka Cosplay, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some of my favorite tools and products to use on foam. Now, I know that there's a lot of videos out there about foam tools, tools you can use for armor making, but I thought I'd like to talk a little bit about the tools that I use, that I prefer, and the things that I do to make foam armor. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first set of tools that I use that are super duper important for me when working with foam are my cutting tools. The tools that I use most often are an X-Acto knife, a box cutter, and a sharpener. This is a Kershaw sharpener. There's tons of different types of sharpeners out there. You can even use sandpaper to sharpen your blade. But foam dulls blades really quickly. So either you're going to want to have a lot of replacement blades or a good sharpener to sharpen your blade. These are super important. They're super easy to get, super cheap, and super useful. The other thing that is the thing that they're sitting on, which is this cutting mat. This is a cutting mat that I got from Joann's. It's a little bit on the smaller side, but these things are mega important. They are super helpful. They protect your desk. You can even do this on the floor, cut on the floor. And yeah, these are some of the tools that I use for making foam. Now, some other things that I use fairly often: paint pens for marking foam, scissors, goes to say you probably should have some scissors around, and then other things that are very commonly used with foam and foam armor making is a heat gun. This gun has seen some stuff. It's actually about 8 years old at this point and still works. This is a Wagner heat gun. You can find these on Amazon. They're about $20 to $30. They're not all that expensive. And these things are the workhorse of foam armor making. A lot of people ask, oh, how do you heat up your foam? Well, heat gun. A lot of people ask me, can you use a hair dryer? The answer is no. They don't get hot enough. Foam has to be heated up fairly hot to be able to form it properly, so you need to get a heat gun. This has a off, low, and a high. I use it on the high setting whenever I'm working with foam. Now, tools like these cutting implements and the heat guns are the very basic things that I use. And then for gluing these things together, I often use one of 3 different types of glue, one of which is barge contact cement. This is the one I use the most often. It is very smelly and it is toxic. The fumes are toxic, so if you're using barge, you need to use it in a well-ventilated area with a fume respirator. The other types of glue are less toxic, such as cyanoacrylate, which is super glue. So this is Bob Smith Industries super glue. This is the medium glue. They have glues in different, they have like different sort of strength glues, different consistencies, but this is the one that I use most commonly. And then last but not least, good old hot glue. This is my glue gun. It's also quite old and has lots of people's names written on it. That's from my Twitch channel. But hot glue is one of the workhorses of armor making. And a lot of people look down their noses at hot glue and you know what? They've probably used it a lot. So the one thing though, when you have to think about when you're using hot glue is that you make sure you use high temperature hot glue. So the stick has to be high temperature glue. If it's not, then the glue bond isn't going to stick as well, it's not going to be as nice of a bond, and you're going to have a bad time. So make sure your hot glue gun can be anything as long as it heats up the glue and makes it, squirtable through the nozzle. Just make sure you're using high temperature hot glue sticks. This is a Dremel, which is a brand name for a rotary sanding tool. I've had a couple of these over the years. They just keep getting bigger and bigger. This is a Dremel 4000 attached to a flex shaft. If you're going to get a Dremel, I highly recommend getting a flex shaft. These things will save your wrist. So if not, you're holding onto the body of this instead of this little guy down here. If you're going to be making armor, I highly recommend investing in a Dremel or other type of rotary sanding tool. They start off probably around $30-$40 and go up from there. I think this one is in the hundreds of dollars range. But I've been making armor for a while and it's a good investment. These things last for a really long time. And the flex shafts you might need to replace fairly often, depending on how much armor you're making. But this is one of the best investments I've ever made in terms of tools for armor making. Okay, so those are the tools that I use when making armor. I hope this has been helpful. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, and also hit that bell notification button to get notified of when I post up another video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.